Death. We all have to deal with it at some time or another. I've experienced the death of multiple of my uncles, and none of my grandparents are still alive. And I think everyone can relate to that awesome moment in life that you're wondering what it's even all about. Love me some existential crises. Really love it. One game that deals very well with this topic is Spiritfarer. Spiritfarer. Spiritfarer? Spirit. It's hard to pronounce, but this will have to do. I'm not a native in English. The game will help you deal with the concept of death without being harsh and really heavy, but through interacting with your friends. Spiritfarer is a management game by the studio Thunder Lotus. It's about you, little Stella, and you hear that you're gonna be the new Spiritfarer. This means that you're gonna get on your boat and try to find lost spirits. Those lost spirits have trouble passing away because they have unfinished business on Earth. To help them get through those issues, you're gonna have to talk to them, you're gonna have to do some requests for them, and well, they're just like people, so they really like to be hugged and they like some really tasty food. So once every while, you just gotta give them a big ol' hug. It's not only pure management, by the way. There's a lot of time just to sit down and look at how pretty everything is. And there's heartbreak too, so be aware. Once a spirit feels ready to leave, they'll ask you to bring them to the Everdor, and this is kind of the last destination in everyone's journey through life and death. After they pass there, they'll never return, and the only thing that's left of them is a little house on your boat and a constellation in the sky. So, yeah, what makes this a good game? It sounds really good, right? Well, it doesn't stop there. The art and the music in this game are truly beautiful. I don't see a lot of games in 2D anymore, so it makes me really think about those old Disney movies, and it fills me with nostalgia. The music is really enchanting and really fits the moments, because sometimes it's very scary too. This immerses you even more. If you're having a bad day, the art style and the music will just lift your spirits up for a little while. And through this art style, you also can just feel how much love there's put in this game, especially in the cuddling animations. I just go, oh, all the time. I can't help it. If I'm not crying because it's sad, I'm just crying because it's so dang cute. The storylines. The storylines are really laid out very well. The story of Stella serves kind of like this framework, and the spirits bring new stories to you that you try to, well, resolve with them. Stella herself doesn't really have a dialogue, but everything about her story is kind of implied, so you'll make that up along the way. And because you don't have dialogue, the spirits are monologuing most of the time, or reacting to your facial expression, so they just won't flat out tell you, yeah, so I'm here because I couldn't deal with the fact that I'm not strong enough to beat cancer. Instead, you have to get through those issues by talking to these spirits and giving them their favorite foods and bring them to places where they've made really special memories. That specific character that I mentioned just now, when she was alive, she had to deal with cancer, and she began getting dreams and visions about really big dragons, and she was very scared of them. But when she encountered them in the game world, she saw the faces of the dragons and she felt really bad for them. So she mentioned that she felt sorry for them and that it might be better to let go, to help them get out of their misery and let them be. And in that way, she kind of resolved that issue for her cancer too, that it was okay to let go. It was okay to not try to beat that war anymore within herself, but just go easy into the night. But it's not all about sickness or health issues. The stories that these spirits bring to you are very diverse. You got this bull and a little bird, and they are brothers, but the older brother is in a coma, and the younger brother can't deal with the fact that his brother is gone. So you'll have to help him figure out how he can be at peace with this. Moreover, little hedgehog Alice, for example, had really bad dementia, so she keeps thinking that Stella is her daughter, which she's not. And this made me think of my grandma, for example, who also suffered from real bad dementia. So while playing this game, you might recognize yourself in one or more of these characters. And even though it's a little confrontational at sometimes, it might make you feel a little bit better and a little bit lighter, because you can see that your experience is a universal experience. And that feeling almost feels like Stella hugs you instead of that little character on the screen. It reflects coping mechanisms. So my boyfriend calls games like these, so Stardew Valley, Animal Crossing, those types of games, he calls them household chore simulators. And I mean, he's partly right. So it's kind of ironic that even though I really, really don't like to do the dishes, in the game, I'll cook all the time, only to keep this big old frog Atul happy. I just want to see him smile. Even though you do a lot of chores, it doesn't feel that way. Because if you take Stardew Valley, for example, where it's your occupation to run a farm, it's not really your occupation to milk a cow or feed chickens or keep your garden tidy. It isn't your job. It's just something you do for someone else. That makes it a whole lot more wonderful and warm, because it's nice to do things for other people. Most people tend to procrastinate and put off things like working through loss or dealing with mental health issues, and partly that's mirrored in a game. Instead of dealing with her own death, spoiler alert, Stella is not thinking about that at all. Actually, she's just cooking things for others and, well, filling these requests and helping the others before she helps herself. It's sometimes more fun and way easier just to cook something for that big old frog, but in the end, you have to start reflecting on those issues you have and push through. In the end, Stella probably doesn't want to deal with her own loss or wants to put it off or take it easy, but she has to come to terms with it at some point, just like you do in real life. Side effects. This game is crazy addicting. You have to do a lot of chores to just get building materials, and when you get there, it pings in your head. It does something to you. It just feels very good to do all those chores, and you just want to keep on going. So this will lead to a lot of procrastination if you're not careful. Crying. Yeah, you might have seen this one coming, but you will cry. You will cry a lot, actually. Death. I mentioned this throughout the video. This game is about death, and I want to underline this once again, that it might trigger you. People deal with all different reasons why they died, and this is not limited to suicide or cancer. It's everything. It's all mostly implied, but it's good to know upfront that this might trigger you. Which is why I'm telling you at the end of this video. So yeah, that's stupid, I guess. So yeah, even though the content might be kind of harsh, the art style is very, very endearing, and these stories the characters tell, it just feels good to listen to them and make friends with them and hug them all the time. Especially when you have to dealt with loss or are dealing with loss now, it might be very useful to you. I actually started playing this game. Well, I didn't actually know that it was that much about death, honestly. But I started playing this game um, while my grandma was very sick in the hospital, and she passed away that week. So it was very fitting for me because, yeah, I cried a lot, not only over this game, but actually over my grandmother too, of course. But it helped me realize that it's okay. She had a great life, and all those spirits have had great lives too. And sometimes it's just better to accept that and let them go and try to make your peace with them and look at the stars and just realize that they're up there watching you. And after a while, you're done playing the game and you can actually get to the dishes.